How you doing, guys? How you doing, guys? Welcome to the channel. It's not going to be a long stream. It's just going to be a short stream. Um, Man City and Leipzig drew 1-1. We played away at Leipzig. I think I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I think it's good to be honest. Some people are going to obviously look at that game and say, "Oh, this is grand. We can go back to Man City. They're coming to the Etihad, so I still have hope." Good for you, and good for you, and well done. You have hope. I appreciate that, and I respect that. As a City fan, I respect that. It's good that you are hoping that you are going back to the Etihad to uh, to obviously play, which is going to be difficult for RB Leipzig. But there's something I want to say. I'm going to say two things before I pass the mic to to Carl. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm gonna be honest with you. After watching that game and watching the Nottingham Forest game and some of the games, I don't think Man City will win the Champions League this season. And I can tell you the truth. You know why? Because if we continue going into games where we're leading 1-0 and our manager sits on the bench and doesn't change anything and kill the game, if that was another team, we are getting beaten properly. It's just that Leipzig were not connecting properly. But when Kunku came, you could see the difference. You could see that now they've got somebody who's dangerous. And as always, our team was panicking. My good friend Carl said it at the beginning of the stream. And I know some people love Jack, and Jack was cooking. We appreciated this. But there's a difference between cooking and then you've cooked the food that people like to eat. You can cook all you want. You can cook samosas, you can cook pizzas, chips, but if the food is shit, nobody cares. The thing about Jack is he's a player that plays very well, very good, but he's not a killer. So there's no killer instinct in him. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If this behavior of City is scared, especially when somebody like Son is subbed in or Kunkunku, because I was like, why are you scared? You are Man City. You are better than this team. Even Richard Don was on the Irish player that used to play for City, used to be our captain. He was on the TV. He said, "I don't know why City gets scared against teams that are inferior to them." Then the other guy was like, "You're disrespecting our." He's like, "No, no, no. I'm just being honest. The players we have at Man City are better than the players at Leipzig. Believe it or not, man to man. But the play is scared control. It's all control, control, control. They don't want to go and beat a team. They want to just go and control things. Now, what's happening is this control somehow it's lapsing after a few seconds because maybe it might need a lot of concentration, and then we're conceding. This game, I said the amount of times I shouted at the TV, sub, sub, sub. I could see the goal coming. Leipzig sub and score. Nottingham Forest sub and score. What is happening to our subs bench? Is the sub not non-existent? I'm sorry, but guys, I'm just looking at this team, and I'm looking at teams like Madrid who go to Anfield and shut up the whole Anfield 5-2. This City team, but especially Pep, why do you sit there and watch the teams just kill us? Why do you just see that? Why do you just sit there? I don't know, Carl. Welcome. I was watching the game, Carl. Same thing as Nottingham Forest. You and me said it, please make some subs. Guess what? The team that makes subs scored back and it's 1-1. Same as Nottingham Forest. Why is he
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this?
Well, Patrick, I told you from the stream before the game that I didn't like the lineup. I told you, and everybody was arguing and fighting with me. I told you I didn't like the lineup because I know what's going to happen. I knew what's going to happen. I don't. You're not going to get a goal from Jack Grealish. I'm sorry. Wrong choice for the wrong game. Right? You're not going to get that. You need, and then you played a back at 3-2-2-3. You played a 3-2-2-3 against Forest. You battered them. You unlucky. And then the UCL without Nkuku, you play a back four. Why? Why? So now all of a sudden, Grealish is by himself on the left side. Nobody's overlapping. The difference between this game and this is on again. I'm beginning to question my manager because I'm saying to this guy, Foden plays a blinder. Foden plays an amazing game against Forest. He missed a goal, but it was amazing. The game was sharp. It was quick. They were direct. They were connected. They were moving the ball quickly. You score Foden for not having what they call pausa, which is making the extra pass. Why are you making the extra pass when these guys are there for the taking? Which extra pass? Did Madrid make the extra pass? Did Napoli make the extra pass? No. Why are you making the extra pass against RB Leipzig?
I don't know.
You want a team? You want a team of 12 midfielders? Is that what you want? That's not how we play. That's not what got us 100 points. A team of 12 midfielders? Grealish is not a threat in the penalty box. Mahrez can be. Walker's not going to cross the ball because Walker's crossing is terrible. What Walker does is use his pace to recover. Akanji is too slow on the ball. He doesn't build the play up quickly. Right? So all of a sudden, you have quickness and Foden on the bench, directness. Alvarez pressing on the bench. Palmer, who can dribble, on the bench. And you make no substitutions in 90 minutes away. After you played 90 minutes at Forest and 90 minutes at Arsenal, what do you expect to happen? I don't understand it. I'm watching the TV.
I'm sorry.
I'm watching the TV. Hold on. I'm watching the TV, and I'm saying, you know what? The same thing that happened is going to happen again, because I can see it. And then you make no substitutions. Why?
That's what I'm saying.
For
and do you know
God's
what the
sake,
funny thing
why?
is? I said it in the Nottingham Forest reaction. I said, why does he keep sitting there at 1-0 and he sees something isn't right? Why? Are you telling us that? Is he trying to tell the club that I don't have enough players on the bench that I rate? Because let me tell you something. Another manager puts on Phillips and says, maybe let's take control of the midfield. Or puts on Foden and says, okay, Jack, you are a threat, or Maris, you're a threat, but I think I need Foden for legs, and we're getting pressed here, and we're getting outrun. The funny thing is, I said it here. I said it to my brother. I was like, they have subbed, they're going to score. Same thing as Nottingham Forest. They subbed, and our manager is just sitting there watching Leipzig rip us into shreds again. Same thing, go. Why? I'm just tired.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
let me be clear. 1-1 is a good result away, because last time we went there, we lost 2-1. Madrid went there, lost 2-1. So Madrid went there, they
Yeah,
lost.
yeah, but
Right?
you get where I'm coming from,
Right?
right? That he's
Right.
sitting
I
there
hear
and
you.
watching the game go away
I
from
hear you.
us.
Again, 1-1 is a good result, is a decent result in the Champions League away. Let's be clear. My issue is the pattern of play. If I know that Jack is not a threat in the box, you're paid £20 million a year. If we're all crying for a sub because we see what's happening in the game, why aren't you making the change?
Yeah,
What are you waiting for?
one of the wingers had to be dropped. I think we had needed somebody with more legs, somebody more powerful. It's just that's the only downfall. And it's the same pattern. It's somebody, even the guy on TV said it. It's the same Nottingham Forest pattern. You come in, you play good football, you ignore Haaland's runs, a lot of Haaland's runs. You ignore them, you score, you're comfortable. The other team subs scores. That's
You know why,
basically
Patrick?
it.
You know why? You
Mm.
know why they're ignoring Haaland? Because they're afraid to make mistakes. Because you want to keep the ball so much, you're afraid to make a mistake and take a chance. Which is why De Bruyne does what De Bruyne does. De Bruyne will lose the ball, but he takes a chance. Bernardo, Gundogan do not like to take chances. Mahrez never likes to take chances. He likes to keep it safe, which is why he always checks back on his left foot. Rather than go on the outside and try to outrun you, he'll check back on his left foot. Grealish sometimes will try to take you on one-on-one. That's what's going on. They're so afraid to make a mistake, they'd rather be conservative.
Yeah,
Now, again,
this is an
my caveat is 1-1 away is a good result. But we could have won that game by 2 or 3-1.
Yeah, but also another thing is this Leipzig team had a few of their ballers injured and they were on the bench, and some of them will be back anyway. Martin and Veta walk.
It doesn't change anything. I mean, you go to the Etihad, they'll get beaten. I believe they'll get beaten. My
Yeah,
issue,
fair.
I'm not scared of Leipzig, right? My
Yeah,
issue is that it's the pattern that I'm seeing. And I saw this pattern in 1920. I saw it in 1920 season where we were 90 points behind Liverpool. Where I'm saying, guy, make a change, man. Make a change.
I don't know. He's just sitting there.
Hmm.
Maybe Martin. Maybe Veta. Welcome, Martin. Veta. I'll come to you. Then I'll go to Martin. Maybe he's making a maybe he's making a point to the big guys upstairs that I need a better bench than this, because I'm sorry, as bad as Phillips or whatever the weight thing, I would throw Phillips in that midfield when we are getting destroyed. I think Phillips would have brought legs into that midfield. What do you think, Veta? Sorry, I'm just disappointed because of the subbing. Because why am I shouting sub? Please bring
Yeah.
energy. These guys are going through and then they score. Same thing as Nottingham Forest. Same thing as Everton. You don't want to kill the game.
No,
Just
100%. I'm sharing the same frustration as I'm watching, right? And again, for me, I'm not comfortably sitting in my chair watching the game. Like I'm getting up, I'm getting close to the TV, I'm watching, I'm trying to see everything on that screen to see where players are, where the ball is. And there's also a point for all of us, all four of us right now on this panel, like talking. We've watched so much City that we can see fatigue in the players. We can see lack of new ideas within the players, right? And when it gets to the point where some of the 1-2 passes or the touch passes are, a half stride too far, right? You see Silva misplacing a pass and it's not getting to a foot of somebody. You see Rodri misplacing it too, and it's causing errors and it's not allowing a flow to then take opportunities in the late stages of the game. We're all frustrated. I'm looking at it. I'm like, there needs to be a sub here because these guys aren't covering the same amount of ground as they were to begin the game or even to begin the half. And when you bring when the opposition brings on subs, we need to at least match the effort. We need to match the effort that's on the pitch. I know the quality is different, but it's about misplaced balls. It's about taking opportunities when patterns of play have created those opportunities to either send the ball to Holland or send the ball to a possibly fresher wing player to run into space. That's the frustrating part. And like Gundo said, 1-1 away without the players that were missing is a good result, right? But it's also so frustrating to leave this game and not feel like a win was there. A win was easily there when you saw how we were attacking them and how they didn't have an answer for how we were moving the ball. Once we showed tiredness and once we showed a lack of precision, they were back in it. And I said this, Gundo and I were, I think it might have been Martin's show. It might have been so many shows. It might have been on Pitch Points. I can't remember. Shout out. If you're not subscribed to Pitch Points, True City Fan, the Mancunian way, do that right now. But I said this, if we're able to see it as fans, as City fans, if we're able to see it, how is there not Pep or an assistant manager screaming to him, nudging him, encouraging him, stressing to him, let's get a fresh body on there. Let's get a fresh body on this pitch. It makes absolute no sense with the quality that we had to not even make a change. I don't get it.
And actually, let's be clear. Rodri has played 270 minutes in the last 1 week.
this is what I'm saying, and you
Let's
know what?
let's
It showed.
again.
How what has Phillips done? What has Phillips
Well,
done? I don't know.
let's be clear. Let's be clear, right? They've played Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday. 1 week, 270 minutes, and you make no subs, and you have a game on Saturday. And you have guys on the bench who haven't kicked the ball in 2-3 weeks, who are young, who are dynamic, who have energy. Why?
I don't know.
I was screaming for an Alvarez sub for Gundo. The pockets
Alvarez,
of space that Gundo was occupying, I was like,
Vina,
Alvarez would be killing these guys right now.
Alvarez is the perfect person to have come in. You take out the Gundogan and put an Alvarez. Keep Bernardo there to control.
Mm-hmm.
Take out Jack. Bring up Foden. Alvarez and Phil and Phillips. Maybe not Phillips. Alvarez and Phil at least change that game because they have energy to direct.
I think Phillips does.
They would have been on the same side. They would have been
Doesn't
flooding
matter.
that side. Man.
So Phillips
But
doesn't change anything in that game. He doesn't.
sorry,
Boy, he would cover ground
Yeah,
for tired Rodri legs.
Yeah, but there's two ways you can look at it. If Calvin Phillips comes in and makes a mistake or doesn't get up to play, what do you do then? It's all we all
no,
go against Phillips.
no, no,
No,
no, no.
we've got to get to the facts of this. Calvin Phillips has not shown anything
Yeah,
to
but
be
Martin,
coming in playing in the Champions League last 16. He hasn't.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he
but
hasn't.
but
the
Martin,
thing is
Martin,
this.
you
Go ahead. Go
cannot
ahead.
play Rodri for 270 minutes
I agree,
as
but that's on Calvin Phillips needs to up his game. Then he's got to step up.
Then step up, go in. But let the manager play him in.
But is the last 16 of the Champions League the time to start going step up?
But
No.
at
Not
least
sure
he
it
has more
is.
energy. He has more energy.
Even
he has more energy than
okay.
Rodri does.
Carl, put me on the pitch. I've got energy. It doesn't mean I'm going to improve the game.
Martin, I can give you a scenario. Gundogan was tired, right? Why don't you flip it and say, okay, Phillips, because I'm telling you, whether Phillips, we might say, oh, he has to step. I've seen him coming. I saw him come in the other game. Was it the Arsenal game to close it up? Why don't you just come and put him next to Rodri, give Rodri a bit of legs to also work with? Or why don't you bring Alvarez to tell Alvarez that, okay, Gundo is tired. Alvarez can play that role.
Yeah, I agree on Alvarez. Alvarez should have played. Should have come on. Totally with that.
It's just Martin, this trend of where all of us are able to say, sub, please, we are being outplayed. And the manager, the guy was... even Richard Don.
People are just saying throw people on for the sake of throwing people on. If you look at that bench tonight, it was kids. We had 11 subs. You got to remember, a lot of that is because you're allowed 11 subs in the Champions League. You're allowed to name 11 players. We had no KDB. We had no Stones. We had no Laporte. You mentioned earlier about Leipzig have injuries. We had injuries tonight, or illnesses.
But we also have Foden. We have Foden Alvarez.
With Alvarez.
Mahrez or Jack, both of them could have been taken out because they lost legs too. They lost legs. You could have brought in Foden.
Yeah, no, Grealish did. I mean, Grealish was amazing first half.
He was, yeah.
But Grealish was absolutely killing them first half.
I get that, but I'm saying later on, Mahrez and Grealish legs were gone because they put so much effort. So Foden could have jumped in for both of them, and Alvarez could have come. Okay, do you know what could have happened? Jack and Mahrez could have been dropped, and Alvarez and Foden put in. There could have been more legs and more times to press and track back. It's just that
I think Mahrez was fine. I think Mahrez was fine.
Yeah, but do you know what's frustrating, Martin, is I get what you mean. Even the 1-1 draw is a good one, but it's just this trend of sitting there. It's like, are you giving a message to the club that you need better players?
I'm seeing the trend of negativity coming in now. It's now at a point where we don't. This is the last 16 of the Champions League.
So you wouldn't mix subs. So you wouldn't mix subs when things are going bad.
You are not going to go in and dominate games for 90 minutes at this stage of the competition. We need to get out of this habit of we just turn up, rock up, play 90 minutes, and just trounce everyone off a pitch.
I can give you a football talk on this. Do you know that Dani Ceballos hasn't been rated at Madrid, but Carlo Ancelotti saw that things are not working in midfield. He brought Dani Ceballos against City, against Liverpool. All I'm saying is, I know, Martin, we cannot dominate the whole game, but when you see that people are starting to outrun you, especially in Europe, you make a sub. Apparently, City are the only team that haven't made a sub in the last 16 since 2018.
Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% on the Alvarez sub. There wasn't really much else.
Even Haaland wasn't doing anything.
Let's be totally honest now. Haaland, if you look at Haaland against Villa and you look at him against Arsenal, against Forest and tonight, he stopped doing what he did against Villa and against Arsenal. Against Villa and Arsenal, he's coming back. He's getting more involved in the play. He's, like Carl said, he's running both channels. For the last two games, he's gone back to what Haaland did previously, where I'm just going to stand in the box and wait. When Haaland was having more, but whether that's because the movement behind, I don't know. The fans wanted a back four tonight. They all got the back four.
That's what I said. That's what we said, Martin.
The simple thing of this is fans need to. Where I'm a little bit annoyed, Pat, and this is not at anyone on air. There's some fans at the minute needs to make a decision. I'm sick of it. I'm getting to a point where if we don't win a game and we don't play sexy football for 90 minutes, I know there's a meltdown incoming.
I
I
think there's
know there
nobody.
is.
I can speak for myself. I don't care about sexy football. I've seen sexy football in the UCL and we've lost before. All I'm saying, Martin, is I understand the 1-1, but this behavior where I am Patrick who watches football, sit there and tell Pep that please make subs. Okay, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Is he
that's
telling
right.
us
That's
that his subs are not good enough? That's what I'm saying. Alvarez, I'm sorry whether people like it or not. Make a sub, bring on Alvarez. Alvarez is a World Cup winner. Alvarez has got energy. Bring energy. You're getting outrun in midfield. I know that Phillips is not perfect, but maybe bring, okay, Phillips is not great, then bring Foden for legs because Gundogan was gone. Gundogan was being outrun. Rodri was just letting people leave and he was trying to catch them. The team was tired. And I'm telling you, Martin, the issue is the team is tired. Even the Nottingham Forest, the team is tired. So is the manager telling us that I don't trust my subs? But I'm sorry, Foden had a great game even against Nottingham Forest, even though he fumbled. I'm just saying, why don't you bring Foden in? Tell him to tuck in and let what's his name, good one, go on the bench, and maybe Foden will have bring in the legs, and then Alvarez. I don't get it. I'm sorry. Like at the end of the day, it's not like we're complaining. I'm just pointing at this game, and I'm also
No, I'm not.
pointing at.
I'm not saying I'm not saying anyone here was complaining.
Do
Pat.
you know the guys, the fans in the fans? If you go on Twitter today, nobody has complained that we've drawn. People are actually complaining about the handball, but majority are saying why
Oh, the
doesn't
Pat they
Alvarez
have.
start?
And they've been slagging off Edison again today.
Nah, those are kids. Those I don't
No,
like
no,
those. Those are
no,
kids.
no. Some of them are not kids. This is what I'm saying. They're not
No,
kids.
but we know that
Listen,
they're out of
you
line for that one because he made some tremendous saves
we can't change that.
to
Yeah,
yeah,
We
yeah.
can
No,
change
He
that,
made
but
tremendous saves
we
that
can't change.
game. For them to try to
yeah,
go on him
but
is
what we
crazy.
can change is what's going on. It's just I don't know, Martin. Let me ask you one more time before I move on to the other guys. When you sat down on that game, didn't you scream sub?
yes, I'm not. Yeah, of course I did. But at the end, but the way I'm looking at it, and like I said, maybe it's me. We're 1-1 away from home in the last 16 of Champions League.
Yeah, that
Every
were
other
with.
team in England has been beat. We've come away with a draw. We'll go back to the Etihad and we'll slap them, and then we move on when we go to the next one. I'm just at a point where sometimes Pep is never going to get a break anymore. And what I'm starting to see is from a lot of the fan base, it is this. It's like the border Pep now. I don't know what it is. It's like the border Pep Guardiola.
Martin, the issue, Martin, in this particular game and in the Forest game is that every one of us is saying make a bloody substitution. We can see these guys are getting tired. They've played 270 minutes. Make a change, and the manager makes no change. Not one. Not one. There is no excuse for that. Just none. If he makes a change and we draw the game, nobody's putting their hand up. We're saying fine. 1 point away, 1-1, good. We move. But the
Okay,
fact
no,
it's
I'm with you on that. Throw it around though, Carl. Say he makes the changes, brings Phillips on, and we lose the midfield completely and get beat.
we're saying bring on Alvarez and bring on Phil because Gundogan was gone. Gundo has played 270 minutes at age 32 in 1 week. 1 week. Even Modric was rested. Benzema was rested on the weekend. It's just.
The thing that I would
I mean,
also
I'm not.
add,
See, again, we're not. We love Pep, right? But let's be clear. I mean, Forest. We all saw that goal coming against Forest because we knew these
Everybody
guys
did.
had just played Arsenal, high intensity game away. They needed to be rested. De Bruyne was sick apparently, and he played till what 75, 80 minutes. Why? Take him off. What is Rodo Borrell doing? Talk to the manager. Tell him, guy, we need to change.
And
Something
Leipzig
needs to
made five,
change.
and Leipzig made 5 changes, and then
Five
they had
subs.
legs. They had legs. Do you know the issue? Let me tell you something, Martin. Man City. Do you know why they even the guy said on TV what frustrates about Man City? Man City are better than everyone, Martin. He said it on TV. He says, "I'm telling you right now, Man City is better than Madrid and all these teams." But sometimes some of the stuff he says this control behavior. Sometimes this you sit back and say, "Do you really have to do it here?" Or you want to do it against a big team like Madrid or a bigger team like PSG, but do you have to do it with Leipzig? Because he said, I'm telling you, man for man, that Man City team is better, and that Man City team has a better bench because Leipzig's bench might have stars, but it says those are future stars and better players. But I'm just saying, at least Alvarez. I was crying for Alvarez. Haaland is doing nothing. I'm sorry, it's the UCL. Haaland, sit down. Alvarez, come in.
Patrick, Alvarez was the only World Cup winner in the 50-man squad for both teams, and he's on the bench.
I don't know, but anyway, let's
let that sink in, right? Two teams had 20 players or so. For the 40 players who were there, only one player won the World Cup and scored 4 goals in the World Cup, and he's on the bench. He never came on.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he's keeping him for who are playing this Bournemouth. Maybe he's keeping him for Bournemouth. Let me read some of this before I go to Veta. I don't know. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna go positive in a few minutes because I'm getting a headache with this UCL. The club should start finding Pep for making little to no subs. Nah, we're fine. I start finding Pep for making late subs. No, we're fine. Robbed. Yeah, the handball. We're gonna talk about it in a few minutes because I just saw a video. Someone just sent me a video. He went like this. Did you see that, Martin? He went like this. The ball went to
but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised. We will never win the UCL with Pep. That's fine. I realized that after UCL 2021. Tali says hello. Patrick, if if KDB doesn't play, bench Haaland seriously. There is no point of having Haaland on the pitch if no one passes him the ball. Play Alvarez instead and make no subs. To make no subs is a disgrace. That's true. I am not gonna complain about VR. It's lazy to blame it alone. We know VR are garbage. True. Pep's tinkering killing us. No, I don't think he tinkered in that. I think he sat down and just watched the match. Yeah, but we were robbed. So yeah, let's just say, is Pep's stubbornness causing more harm than good? That's a question to you, Martin. Martin, are you with us?
Right. Say that again, mate. Sorry, lost you there.
There's a question by Ego-eyed Football. Is Pep's stubbornness causing more harm than good?
He's stubborn on his subs. Is it causing more harm than good?
Yeah.
It's
a very hard question. It's a very difficult question.
I did see that can open up all kind of worms.
It's a yes and no because Pep he isn't perfect, and he's obviously made some errors throughout the season. And yeah, at times his stubbornness would have caused.
Ferguson wasn't perfect. Ferguson made errors.
But Martin, do you think it's a message to the people on the bench that step up?
I think the message to certain players, that you need to step up. I'm sorry, I'm now, and people are going to think I'm being really harsh. I'm not. Sometimes you can see the writing on the wall. Calvin Phillips, I think will be gone in the summer. I don't think there's a way back for him.
Yeah, West Ham want him. They've always wanted him.
I think the club have come to a conclusion, or Pep has, that he's not ready for our level. Maybe that's unfair. Maybe it is. But I think that's where Pep sees him.
I'm very frustrated because I think he is suitable for our system. It's just I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's not putting on, but he is the guy. Do you remember Viet and Carl? This is the guy we studied. This is the guy. He's good. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's his attitude. I don't know. Let me just go. Good away performance by Twisted. It's causing severe harm. Ego-eyed. I told you, Pep, overthinking again. There's no overthinking, man. Calm down. That's not what we call overthinking. Some of you guys is just an agenda. I agree with everything Carl says. So Daniel says, bro, they didn't even show the last attack. It was a clear pen. A man was doing volleyball and clearing the ball. It was a clear pen. Man, we've been robbed. We played well. Ref robbed us. Said enough, really. What is wrong with Pep's position without touches? Why not play direct pass it to Haaland and the most dangerous striker? I saw Haaland was pissed off at Gundo. I think he said talking to him. City's first team to not make a sub in the UCL knockout game since 2018 October. Time for Pep to go get Vini company and buy Pep boring. Come on, let's relax. This game proved having 10 midfielders on doesn't work. This team needs natural wingers. Continue facts. We always get quarterfinals and semifinals max in the UCL with Pep. Are City going to win the UCL? Don't bring an agenda.
So Coutinho, sorry, I don't know what planet Coutinho is on. You forgot that we got to the final. And
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
wrong with everybody?
that's fine. Yeah, we should have strengthened in January. Wallahi, I will slap everyone who disrespect KDB. It's not funny anymore. He's the best creator in world football. With subs done, we would won the game. Theo and Alvarez would have completely changed the game. I agree with that, Mike. I think that was one of my issues. Like, I don't care about the draw. I always, let me be honest, Martin Veta and Kao. I already said it. It's either we draw or win at Leipzig, or Leipzig beat us 2-1, because Leipzig are a very energetic team. Uh, Today, to be honest with you, I like that defender from Croatia. I understand why maybe City are looking at him. I saw his composure. I saw the way he can get the ball from the back. I saw he can defend. One defender of ours who I'm not convinced anymore is Akanji. He seems like he's allergic to
By the way,
tackling.
Pat, I ain't sure on that bloody goal because I want to see that. I need to look at that Diaz situation back again, but you know,
Yeah,
really,
Diaz did. What's his name? According to some people, they're saying the player went on top of Diaz, avoiding him from what?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Diaz. He used
yeah, it's
Diaz
kind of like when
as a
you
way to jump.
dunk someone underwater, like when you're in the pool, you kind of like you
the
you
thing
level
is that
yourself up.
I'm not trying to be an happy clapper, and people will call me a happy clapper. I'm not trying to be an happy clapper. But what I'm trying to do is put everything into perspective. In the cold light of day, if we'd have all said at the very beginning, would you have took 1-1 away at Leipzig?
I would.
You would have
for
all gone. You've all gone. Thanks very much. Take
Yeah,
that.
I
And
don't
go.
think it's. I
I
don't
don't
think
like
it's the result. It's not the result
It's
itself.
not the
It's
result.
what.
I think, Martin, nobody cares about the result. I
exactly.
think the result we're happy with. We're happy with the result. It's just that there was a moment where you're seeing that something is coming here.
This is
Change.
Pep.
We're tired.
We had this debate last year. This is
Uh,
Pep. He's not.
well,
It's like he's not going
then,
to change.
Are we
then
gonna have
Martin,
to accept it?
then maybe it's time for a change. Then maybe
Oh,
it's time for a
that's
change.
madness.
No,
Who's
I'm being
better than him?
serious. Let me explain. If we all can see,
That is
hold on.
madness.
Let me explain, Martin. Let me explain. Right. If we all can see that there's a sub needed in 2 games, and we can see what's happening, and no changes made, there is a problem. There is a problem.
What
Let's
is
be
Is
clear.
what
say
is
that
it?
is he trying to say that the benches? Is he trying to tell the club that I need better players, or he's telling the players
What
on the bench you're
my,
not good
my
enough?
point my point is why? What is it that
Yeah,
he can see that we all can't see?
I think
yeah.
That
I
leads
think there's a
if we're all
message.
saying Patrick, that we can see a goal coming, we can see the fatigue, we can see what's going on, and you're there. Why can't you make that change? What is the problem?
All right, let me throw that question back to you then, Carl. Who would you want in place?
No, I'm not saying I want anybody in place. What I'm saying is
No,
that when
you said it may be time for a change. If anyone should be even say it may be time for a
no,
change, there must be an alternative in their
Martin,
mind.
Martin,
No,
Martin,
it's not necessary.
what I'm saying, let me be clear. What I'm saying is that if this is the pattern of play where nothing changes and we're dropping points against the obvious, maybe it's time for a change. Who it is, I have no idea. Maybe he changes his mind. Maybe he changes the way he plays. Maybe he changes his tactics. But there needs to be some change. That's what I'm saying. There
So
needs to be a change.
I want to go.
Because
Richard don't say that on TV. He said this team is
it
too
makes no
good.
sense,
It's too
Patrick. It
good to
makes no
sometimes
sense.
just allow no subs. I
Where we're
think I don't know.
seeing a game flow and we're all seeing the same thing. You see it. Like, come on, guy, bring on somebody. And the players will never say they're tired because they want the match bonus. They want to play 90 minutes. They'll never say it. But Kevin De Bruyne was sick in the game. No wonder he was misplaying passes. Take him off at halftime. At halftime, Marco Rosa makes a change, brings on Heinrich, because he knows that Jack Grealish is exposing the guy on the right back. He makes a change. Game changes. More energy, more pressing, more running. We do nothing. We wait and wait and wait. Waiting for what?
Yeah,
So the change I'm talking about is make a change. Either you change your tactics, you change your mindset, you change your coaching staff, get somebody who can challenge you. Do
I
something
agree with that.
different.
Yeah, it
I think he
100%
needs.
does
I
need
think
an
he needs a
assistant
better number
manager.
two. I think he needs a
It
better
does
number
need an
two. I
assistant
think he needs a
manager.
better number two.
100% needs an assistant manager. Someone
that,
who is
that
going to challenge him. I agree with that.
yeah,
I
that was
just I don't know. Maybe it's me being too happy clappy, but I think some of the reactions, and again, not from anyone on the panel, just think some of the reactions are way over the top, way over the
No,
top.
I hear
I
that,
think
but
it's. I
this is
think. Go ahead, Veta. Go ahead, Veta.
the thing that's frustrating is, and I was going to make the point with regards to coaching staff, because again, Pep isn't perfect and no manager is, but if we look at some of the past managers in the standards, no one would say that, Sir Alex Ferguson was the best tactical manager, but we do know that he did refresh his coaching staff over the years. You need to do that. And I think where I get frustrated as a fan watching is I do see patterns of play and I see how the opposition's playing against us, and I'm seeing some opportunities. And I'm not
He's
saying that
an,
I need to be on the coaching staff, but there
Veta.
needs to
He's answered
be
us. Veta,
who's
I'll give back you the mic. So he's answered
Mhm.
us. Guardiola, we don't have the team to compete with them in transitions. They are better than us. They are faster and quicker, except Cow and Erling Haaland. The pace they have, we don't have it, and that's why we have to have the game with this control that we had in the first half.
So
Uh,
that
let,
is
let, let,
saying
let, let, let,
he
let,
doesn't
let,
trust
let me tell you,
anyone on that bench to bring onto
you
that
know,
pitch.
he's a control freak. That's the bottom line. He's too afraid to take a risk. That's what's going on. I'd rather
But
not try and take a risk. I'd rather stay in my corner because I've been bruised by what happened in Madrid, where I lost control and lost that tie.
Do you think that's where all this control is coming from? Is the Real
That's what's
Madrid
coming
game?
from.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's coming from.
but
So
he's
it's all
not
coming from
being
what happened in
honest.
Madrid.
I get it. He's protecting the team, but he's
Oh,
not. Pep
so
isn't being honest.
he played a risky game against Madrid, obviously to rip them apart, and
So
then they
you
ripped us
could
apart
say he
at
has
our game.
learned. You can say he has learned.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know.
Because
Okay,
that's
so
one
can I
thing that
ask
is labelled
something?
at Pep. He doesn't learn. Because we all came out of that Madrid game in the Bernabeu going, why didn't he shut up shop? Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Why did we keep going? Why did we keep attacking? And if you remember, it was like a ping pong match. Grealish is it in the post, Courtois, then back up at the other end with Rodrigo, and we were all going bloody crazy. And now he's learned and gone, you know what? I'm just going to ride this out, take 1-1 back to the Etihad. Happy with that. Job done. Thanks very much. Keep me players fresh for Bournemouth. In a what? Because trust me, Bournemouth will make changes. I'm expecting Alvarez filling all them in for Bournemouth. And then we roll out again. Because you got to remember, this we can part this now for another 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, we can. We have so much time. To be honest with you,
So
we have so
you're going to
much
have
time.
KDB back. You're going to have Laporte back. You're going to have Johnny Stones back.
I have to challenge Pep on this one. I mean, him talking about not having the speed in transition. Alvarez is no slouch. Foden is no slouch. They're quick of feet. So with what he had to say, I get it. He's got to protect the team. He's got to say the right things. But what I want to emphasize here is he's obviously not trusting those players on the bench to bring them on.
I have a feeling too. This is what I said at the beginning, that I think it's a message to either the board or the bench saying, because at the end of the day, what can I just ask? I'll give it to you, Veta. What does Alvarez have to do? Because every time he comes on, he's had few stinkers, but not bigger than others. But he still has seen the goal, even though he's played less minutes. So I don't get it. I just don't.
And
I'll tell you exactly
and
what's happening with Alvarez, in my opinion.
hold on, Martin, one sec. But the whole thing with regards to Pep learning from last season in Real Madrid, of course, 100%. I'm going to take the air out of the ball. I'm going to make you guys chase shadows. You can continue to have that philosophy and not give opportunities to your ops. I get that. But you can also bring on players to then execute that same philosophy. You can bring on players that can still pass that ball around, make them chase their shadow for a good 10 minutes of that match. You could do that. Not subbing them on is where I now have questions. What is it? Are they in his doghouse? Does he not trust them? What's keeping them off the pitch in a situation where you can easily put them on to play out 10 or 7 or even 5 minutes? I don't get it.
The thing, Pep made some statements, quotes in the embargo section after Forest about Foden, saying that he needs to refocus, he needs to make decisions at the right time, things like that. So that tells you everything you need to know about Foden at the minute, sadly.
But my only problem with that statement that he made is you're trying to change Foden into what he's not. He's not a pauser guy. Foden never, even in the academy, Foden was what made Foden special was not his pauser.
He was unpredictable.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
unpredictable.
Yeah,
The goal that he scores against Dortmund that takes us to the semi-final of Champions League, right? It's because he's unpredictable. He scores a goal because corner comes in and bang, takes a shot. If he had pausa, he's dribbling that ball and giving it back again, like Mahrez does. Why you want to change a player from being what he is to what he's not? You take Jack, who's direct, and you ask him to keep the ball and pass the ball and play out wide on the left wing. When you know he's not, when you know in the box, he's not clinical. He's not a goal scorer. Why? They're playing in midfield.
Been scoring goals.
Meanwhile, how many goals, Martin? 2, 3 in the whole season, right?
He scored 2 or 3 in the last 3 or 4 games.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm starting to feel that it's actually not Jack's fault or Mahrez's fault. I think that Martin, you're right. I think Martin, Cow, and Veta, you're right. After the Madrid game, I think this man is preparing for the later stages. And maybe Martin, you are right. I think this man, the PTSD after the Madrid game is hitting him, and he says, "I need control." So I think he's preparing this team for control, because you said few things about his prep for this game. I think this whole control, somebody said it like a joke, so I didn't actually understand, because obviously they had an agenda behind it. He's like, it looks like this season Pep doesn't really care about the Premier League. He cares about it in a certain percentage, but it looks like all his experiments are for the Champions League. As you said, Martin, all the experiments are for the Champions League, to say, okay, if I play a team that's counters fast and I do this, what's going to happen? Because it looks like it's an experiment. Because you know what you're doing, an experiment, Martin? You sit there and watch it. That's what he's doing.
But exactly, Carl. And the thing is with it, the thing is with this, you look at the Champions League in a minute. Do you need to be the best to win the Champions League? No. What you have to be is disciplined on the night. You have to be focused. You have to make the right choices. Remember, this is 2 legs. 2 legs. What you got to do is navigate yourself over the 2 legs. Will Pep be happy with the second half? No. Pep will have gone in, and will he maybe come back and go, we should have made changes? I think statistically, Alvarez has played the most football out of anyone in the Premier League over the last 12, 18 months. So I think he's just, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, he is literally letting Alvarez recharge. And I've always said it, you'll see Alvarez next season. That's when the real Alvarez will come on board. Is next season, when he's had a proper pre-season and everything else. I know, Carl, but that is just the way Pep sees it with him. There is no footballer on the planet who's played more football than Alvarez in the last 18 months.
No,
the guy played.
There are other people have played more football than he has.
You name me someone then who's come from one club to another club to a World Cup and then back into a Premier League.
Liverpool played more. Many players in Liverpool played more football last year than Alvarez played. They played all 4 competitions all the way to the finals.
But no, but you're forgetting Alvarez played in the Copa Libertadores.
Yeah, but Liverpool players played in the FA Cup, they played in the Carabao Cup, Premier League, and they played in the Champions League. And some played in the World Cup, It's no excuse.
And where are Liverpool now, Carl? They're 8th.
You have a World Cup winner, a guy who's a game changer, on the bench. You don't even give him 20 minutes? Nah, come on, mate.
Alvarez needs more than 20 minutes, Carl, to get involved in the game.
At least give him 20. At least give him 20.
I've watched it with my own eyes. When he comes on for 20 minutes at the Etihad, he's not in the game.
20 minutes of Alvarez is better than 200 minutes of Gundogan. Gundogan was dead on his feet, can't run. 270 minutes of Gundogan versus 20 minutes of Alvarez at 21 years old versus 31. There's no excuse. From the manager, it's not.
Like Pat said, Alvarez has had a few stinkers lately when he's been involved. Not been in the game.
At least give him a shot. Give him a chance in this game to match the energy levels of RB Leipzig. Gundogan was done. Rodri was done. They played 3 games in 7 days. They cooked. Arsenal, Forest, and RB Leipzig away. Energy, right? Low block and energy. No wonder they got tired and we lost the second half in terms of possession and control, because they can't keep up. And on the bench, you have Foden and Alvarez sitting there on their bums doing nothing.
I honestly do think if we go on and we win this competition, we'll look back and we'll say Pep literally roadmapped his way to it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
fair enough.
honestly will look back
I
and we'll
agree.
do that.
I agree. I mean,
Can I
with
can I
that,
can I
letting
can I can I, can I tell you something though, Martin? And I'm gonna be honest with you. There's gonna have to be a lot of fixing up from this City team. I'm talking about Pep with his subbing. I hope this is just experiment. I'm looking at an experiment and seeing how it works. I want to see how we get on in the later stages. Because let me tell you something. There is a hyper Leipzig in this competition. There's a hyper Leipzig. I mean, like this is Leipzig. This one is 2 levels up. There's Napoli. If we draw Napoli in the next round, and our legs are finished
Patrick, it
like
doesn't work
this,
like that. Pat, it doesn't
yeah,
work
but
like that.
but
Patrick.
but
It
but
doesn't
you
work
get my
like that.
point. Is I'm just saying we're gonna have to be
It
doing
doesn't work
subs
like
because
that.
some of
I
the
mean,
teams. That's just for me. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but I'm just saying Leipzig
it,
is a dangerous outfit. It's a very dangerous outfit. So yes, he might master plan all this UCL, great, but he has to switch players. I know he's trying to say, okay, these are the guys I
I mean,
have.
let's
The
be
thing
clear. I
about
mean,
it,
the same Napoli lost to at Anfield 3-1. Let's be clear.
yeah, they
Okay, so
did. Yeah, but let me also. They
so
made a lot of they made a lot of changes. By the way, they made a lot of changes during that game. Uh,
but they
yeah,
lost
but but
3-1.
but but but
Anyway,
this is my
boys, I'm going to have
this.
to go.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Apologies.
uh, yeah, yeah.
Subscribe to every single one of these legends. They deserve all your support and your love.
Yeah.
So hit that
Thank you,
subscribe
Martin.
for them all.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for bringing a bit of positivity in. Anyway, go guys, go watch Martin. His stream is starting at 11. You can go flip to that screen. I'm just going to read a few comments here before we close this up. Then I'll give it to Veta because Veta is also dying to throw some knowledge on this. UCL. Why is this competition? why is this competition around Veta? And why does it belong to Madrid? Um, the assistant manager Pep is incompetent and should be sacked now. I think he's just scared to challenge Pep. I think Kao and Vet and Mankinin were right that maybe we have to find another assistant who's able to question him. Did you notice, Kao, just before I continue the comments, did you notice that when the assistant was that older gentleman, we got to the UCL final and things used to change, like tactics
Yeah,
used to change.
because the man is an older man. He respects him. He has a voice. He's one that was talking to all the players and calming them down. Like Cancelo. Cancelo go to him and talk to him when he had problems. He'll calm Cancelo down. We'll talk to Fernandinho. We'll talk to all the players and calm them down. He was the guy who was running the channels for the players in the background. Guardiola keeps his distance. He keeps a distance between him and his players. So there isn't that personal touch that all these other guys have. Which may be a problem. Which may be a problem. It's. I mean, the result again is good. The same team beat Real Madrid at home 2-1. The same team, drew with Bayern Munich at home. They're good team. We talked about this yesterday on your show. The problem I have is that with the pattern of no subs again, like, come on, what do they have to do?
I don't know.
And don't
Let me
tell
just
me
read
that.
this.
And don't tell me they can't run because that's a cap. That's a cap. Because
I don't
Alvarez
know,
can
man.
run.
I'm telling you, Alvarez and Foden must be sitting there and saying, seriously, Gundogan road. Even I'm sorry, as much as you guys might hate on Phillips, I'm sorry. I saw Phillips in the Liverpool game, in the Arsenal game when he came on and to control the game. He closed it up and he was
Yeah.
matching the running because we were being outrun again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, throw me Maximo Peron. Tell Peron he's a small Argentinian, and you've seen him, Carl. He can run. Tell Maximo Peron that don't go anywhere. Stay next to Rodri. Help Rodri. His legs are gone. But let me continue these comments, and I'll go to Veta. That is City or Leipzig through. No, we're waiting for them to come to the Etihad. In this game, Leipzig keeper was the second choice. Foden and Alvarez should have made a lot of sense since they're direct and willing to take shots. Do you hear that? I know, Daniel. Then Arteta used to push this board man. That's true, Mikey, and I'm not lying. Abdullah is City or Leipzig through. No, they're not. They're not. We are just waiting. The result is fine. KDB will destroy them at the Etihad, but the performance was crap. Gundo is spot on. The guys are scared to take chances and make mistakes. It's too much about possession. That is true. I think Gundo is right about that. look at us City fans. We talk more about Pep than the players. We really so much we rely so much on Pep because of Pep's system. But in the UCL, there's a lot of chaos and individual brilliance. Players are deciding. Do you know one thing? As I continue, also Veta, do you know what shows that sometimes you need the X factor in the UCL? Vinicius. I don't see any of our players doing what Vinicius did, where he just takes the ball and becomes crazy and just scores. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Something because all they want to do is protect the ball,
but
pass it. They
that
did the
that
things in
level that
Veta.
level of profile player, that
Uh,
profile of player in terms of taking someone on and pace, we don't have once, because Vinicius will take on two. You'll see it. He'll maybe lull two in and then use his speed to get away. We don't currently have that at our squad, but I do expect I do expect our players to take the chances when they have it, and it doesn't mean shooting all the time. To Gundo's point, it means I see an opportunity. Let me slip the ball in. And I was yelling at the TV first half and second half, slip that ball in. And it wasn't only for Holland. There was sometimes it was slip that ball into Gundo. He's in a pocket right now, or slip that
Or
into
Walker.
Mahrez,
Or
or
Walker went
yeah, or
right.
Walker. It it was it's crazy. And again, I look at these matches and I try my best to study and observe patterns of play. One thing that I find a little odd is that when we recycle the play sometimes in the opportunity of the opposition automatically expecting us to be switching it, there's a play to keep it on that same side and to slip the ball in. And maybe we're going to see it with a KDB on that pitch, but we should be seeing it with the talent that we had tonight. It's I'm going to say this when I jump on Martin's show the same way. I'm going to be continuing to say this. It's frustrating to watch because we're missing opportunities. It's not enough to just say the players aren't finding Holland. The players aren't finding other opportunities to get behind the defense. And it's frustrating to watch because it's easy offense. It's an easy way to attack them. We're making things more difficult than they need to be.
Yeah, so let me just read the comments and then we're going to close up. Then we can go also because I just want to see the comments. Who's going through? Nobody's going through at the moment. They have to come to the Etihad. Is there another game? Yeah, another game is going to be played in a few weeks. A lot of fans are scared to criticize Pep and deflect blame. That's actually true. I've seen a lot of fans don't want. Hi, Melina. How you doing, Melina? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Madrid let their best players shine. That's the magic. We are overcoached. Hence, the conversation post-match starts with Pep. That's true. Madrid seems to let their players shine, and Ancelotti is the right man because he said, "Oh, I go in the dressing room and told them, you know what to do, guys. This is the Champions League." Spreadly Leipzig, Abdullah, all right, nice. Feel sorry for Alvarez. Why doesn't he get any minutes? That's what Vilton says. I don't know, brother. I don't know. Absolute disaster, handball, definite. It's a disgrace, but also
Was
we
that a
have to be
handball?
able.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Was it?
Oh, he
I
did.
don't think
Yeah, he went like this. He went like this.
Yeah, go
He
go to
saved it.
Twitter,
He
Gundo.
saved it.
You'll
He
go to
saved it.
Twitter.
So, Carl,
Yeah.
there was a ball in, and he went like this with his two
He
hands.
literally hit the ball,
Oh.
and his hands hit the ball towards the keeper, so it didn't result in anyone else getting a chance on the ball. It's crazy when you see it.
Yeah, he saved it.
What
So
is
he saved
going
it.
on?
I don't know. Because Haaland's better, start playing Maximo Peron. What's the excuse and what was the point of buying him? I think he's too young. He'll get his time. Glory, Man City. The only game that was good was the game against Chelsea. That's true. Our build-up play is not good enough without Laporte and Stones. That's true. Gundo is talking madness. No, he's not. He's talking facts. I know you're here to throw. This is rubbish. The team needs Ronaldo back. Never mind. That was the knobs at the Gosbridge place. I don't know what you're talking about. This is rubbish pattern of play. Change it. We need to rebuild, please. Fast wingers. Maybe we need a one fast winger. Carlos Borges. Carl said it. Carl said it today. Imagine Carlos Borges. He's talking about speed. Do you know what's the funny thing about Carl about all this? He says we don't have fast players. Last week he said, "Oh, times of Sane and Raheem are done, guys. Let's move on." That was Pep in a post match.
Mhm.
Now he says we don't have fast players to match them.
We
Carlos
do have
Borges.
fastest.
Why have Robertson instead of Carlos Borges? Why have a midfielder? Why is this man obsessed with midfielders? O'Shea and Robertson midfielders, but he
Patrick,
can't.
what did Veta? I told you in the stream before, in the lineup stream. I
Mhm.
talked about this. When you asked me what I felt, I was pessimistic because when I saw the lineup, I knew what was going to happen. It'd be a miracle to get 3 goals because Grealish ain't going to get you goals. He's not.
Yeah.
It's not
And
his
I
game.
agreed. Yeah, I agreed with your point that there weren't going to be many goals available within that formation. I did see the control aspect that would have maybe, you know what, let's get here with a 1, maybe a 2-0 win and get out of here and come back home. But man, we'll see. We're going home and it's basically 0-0 at home, so we go home and win.
I don't know. I think if you want control, I think Carl, whether people don't rate Phillips or not, I think put Phillips and tell them to close down shop. I think tell them to close down shop and then put Alvarez and Foden in to help run back in and stop those runs and press. I think you win that game. I'm not a professional, but I think you win it. The same way he tried to do against Madrid, where he bought Fernandinho, just because Fernandinho was old, he couldn't help Rodri. But sometimes some of these decisions are just funny. Anyway, let's keep going. Let me just write this before we close this up, guys. There's 125 of you guys. Please like the video. There's only 15 likes, and 125 of you have been watching this stream. I have a gauge. It's showing me that it's been consistent. 125. The likes are not happening. That's a bit. That's theft. That's theft. Daylight robbery. We need to sub off Haaland. I could have done that. No. I'm not reading that. We could have subbed off Haaland, but yeah, I think we don't need subs. I still think we didn't need subs. Okay, big up to you. Look how you doing. You okay? I miss Man City's score. It's 1-1. I'm gonna, guys, there's a lot of comments, there's a lot of views. Sorry about this. I'm gonna have to close this. But in the second leg, we have Stones, KDB, Laporte back. The 80 had to be rocking. I hope it is. No sub. We definitely overrun by Pep's constant changes. We should have never let Raheem go. Drop a like, guys. Greece shooting is like 1,000, very hopeless. There's another comment. I honestly don't know what Pep believes anymore. 1 minute he wants a big squad, the other minute he wants a small squad. If we win and Alvarez comes on, doubt you'll be complaining. That's the truth. A Big Steve says relax, so relax. It doesn't mean because Big Steve says relax, and then we want I have to relax. I'm sorry. That game accumulation shit is nonsense. Control is not the problem. The problem is creating chances. Only KDB and Gundogan at the times find Haaland. Others either pass back or dribble past. Great video. City to win second leg 2-0. Thank you very much. Okay, why not replace Raheem Sterling then? I'm not sure. Guys, okay, so guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. There's 125 of you. Please drop a like on your way out. Please don't forget to subscribe to Veta. And Veta, can you tell them about your Sunday show?
Yeah, Sunday show at 9 p.m. UK time. 9 p.m. UK time. Vader Games TV. Find me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Get the notification so you know when I'm live. It's a new show that I'm looking to drop, and it's going to include the panel members that you heard on True City Fans. So tune in. It's something special, and I'm excited to debut it on Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time. Thanks, man.
Thank you for that, Veda. Guys, go subscribe to Veda Games. Get the man to 500 subscribers. Carl, you can find Carl on Pitch Points. He's always on Pitch Points. Sometimes he's on True City Fan. Sometimes I'm on Pitch Points, and I'm sometimes on True City Fan. These are two channels. You can follow me on Twitter, Patrick at True City Fan on Twitter. If you want to follow me there, Veta, you can follow him, Veta, on Twitter. You can follow Gundorodian on Twitter. Carl, do you have any last words as our next game is Bournemouth?
Again, 1-1 away is not a bad result. We look forward to the next game at the Etihad. Hopefully, we can get it done there. I'm confident we can get it done there because we played all the big boys at the Etihad and have won. So, come on, City.
Yeah, come on, City. Guys, thank you very much for being here with us tonight. It's a draw, but it's a positive draw. The home fans now have to do their job. The players know that this is not over yet. We cannot take Leipzig lightly because the players also were coming back from being fit. Somebody said that was the second choice keeper, by the way, the one they had today. So the first choice keeper has to come on. So, guys, thank you very much.
He's not coming back. The first choice keeper isn't coming back because he has a terrible injury. And this was the guy that beat Madrid too. So let's be clear.
Yeah.
Keeper has nothing to do with it. The same keeper.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I didn't know he wasn't coming back. Anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. And we'll do the Bournemouth preview. And I might do a watch along for the Bournemouth game. Hopefully, I just want to do a watch along. I might do a watch along with Veta or Kyle, I think we're due a watch along. I like
Oh,
at this point in time.
you don't want me to watch along, man.
Nah,
Trust me.
nah. On the watch along, we just remove the monetization and remove anything, so you can say whatever you want. So anyway, guys, I think I'll do it with Veta. Veta is more calm, so I'll do it with Veta. So Veta, we have to a tight watch along. We can do both channels at the same time. We can link them. I'll tell you how to do it. So thank you very much, guys. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Support the channel. Thank you very much. Have a great evening and come on, City.